Hello again, you guys. It's Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and this is my weekly sales update video. However, this is going to be covering 2 weeks worth of sales because we actually went on vacation on New Year's Day. So this sales video is a little bit different. This is actually everything that I sold while I wasn't working. So essentially, I put my Poshmark closet on sale, on vacation mode. You can tell I'm still getting into the swing of things, I'm sure. Onto vacation mode while I was away. So there's a couple of sales from right before I left that I managed to ship out the morning that we left, and then when I opened my closet back up yesterday, which was Sunday the 12th, I had 4 sales that day. So the 6 sales you'll see on Poshmark are just the kind of bookends of that vacation. And then I did keep eBay live. Throughout my vacation, I had 1 item go live that I had scheduled previously, drafted and scheduled, so that it just kind of kept things ticking over for me. Other than that, I didn't touch eBay at all, except to accept an offer, for example. And I had steady sales throughout those 2 weeks, so that was really beneficial. But like I said, other than responding to offers, I didn't do anything to do with my business. So this really is everything I managed to sell and make money on while I wasn't working at all, which is always really nice. So this is from December the 30th through to January the 12th. So like I said, 2 weeks. I had a total of 32 sales while I was away from work, which averaged about 2 a day, a little bit more than 2 a day as it were. And I'm going to go ahead and take you through them, and I'll let you know where I picked up the items, roughly how long they were listed, and of course what they sold for. So here we go. Poshmark, this Ann Taylor Poppy Flower Watercolor Silk Dress. This sold for $30. Which was a full asking price, which was very nice. And this was only listed for maybe 3 or 4 weeks tops. Denim & Co. black faux leather detail on the shoulders there. Just a basic top. It was a 1X, so it was a plus size. This sold for $15 on a best offer. And again, this one was listed, I think this one probably for several months at this point, but not too long. Same for this in terms of several months being listed. It was really waiting for the right buyer for sure. I thought it was going to go on Etsy, but it didn't. It went on Poshmark, and it's a vintage novelty sweater vest. And as you can see, it has suitcases, travel train cases kind of thing, and then travel hats. And then the buttons were also figural, as you can kind of see on the close-up photos, with little suitcases and hats as well. Definitely a really cute, unique piece, and that's sold for $18, again on a best offer. Now I often mention, but on Poshmark, if I send out an offer to likers, I send out a shipping incentive as well, because unless you're working in a bundle with the buyer, you have to send out a shipping incentive on that one item, which is about $1.80 that I would pay out of my pocket towards my buyer's shipping, just to let you know for full transparency that that's also a cost that is sometimes incurred. All right, next one. This item sold within the day that it sort of popped up. When I actually turned my closet back on yesterday, I had a bunch of drafts on Poshmark that had all gone live on eBay throughout the 2 weeks while I was away, but I'd kind of stocked them up so that as soon as my closet went live again, I was able to go ahead and post all of these new listings and kind of just give it a little boost as it was sort of hopefully revving up a bit more, from being on vacation. And it worked because those 4 sales in that day were very, very beneficial again to me. So Karl Lagerfeld Paris, I picked this up because as far as I could tell, it was a good brand. I'm not sure exactly of the tier of branding that this particular one is. There's the label, but I really, really did like that novelty print with the aviator sunglasses. Comps were kind of all over, and I listed at $35. It was picked immediately as a host pick, for one of the Poshmark parties, which may have helped it for sure. But it sold for a best offer of $25, like I said, within 24 hours, and I was happy with that after looking at comps. And the last 2 items here are items that sold right before I left. So Cole Haan athletic mules. All Cole Haan is not made equal, and I would likely not pick these up again. I had 2 pairs, pink and green. Green sold a while ago. These pink have hung out for almost a year. $16 is what they finally went for. And the last one is a Christmas selfie sequin sweater sold after Christmas, go figure, and it's sold for the full asking price of $18. Okay, and then on to eBay for the 2 weeks here. So we have this J. Crew career wear wool black dress, very, very simple piece, but very classic, and like I said, career, sold for the full asking price of $49.99. Next one. Oh, it's been slow. My computer feels like I do at this point. Royal Robins was like an outdoorsy brand. This was a chartreuse color, kind of like between that green and yellow, very bold, faux wrap type look top. Sold again for that full asking price of $18.99. Actually, I had quite a few sales that were full asking price, which I quite liked. And that item was probably listed for a few months. And this item's only been listed for about 3 or 4 weeks. And I was thinking that it would take a little bit longer to sell. And unfortunately, it did have some damage to it. There were just some wear due to age and stuff where the seams needed to be repaired, or in fact had been repaired but not very well by hand, and that would need to be redone. All of that, of course, was disclosed in the listing, the condition description, and of course the photographs as well. And it sold for that full asking price again of $28.99. All right, next we have just a very simple J. Crew cardigan, size extra small, sold for $11. Just a very, very bread and butter basic piece there. And these fossil little ballet pumps, like ballet flats, they sold for $14.55 on a best offer. I was happy to let them go for that because they did have some wear, especially to the heel, and just like a few watermarks and things like that. But Fossil is still a really nice brand when it comes to leather shoes and leather bags and belts and things like that, so I do tend to keep my eyes open for it. And I think they were listed for only about 3 or 4 weeks as well, so a fairly fast mover. This item has been in my various stores, Etsy and eBay and whatever, for a very long time. Years, literally years, maybe like 2 to 2.5 at this point. I picked it up because I thought it was just a really cool, really interesting vintage book, the children's party book, full of beautiful illustrations. And this, I picked this up way back when I was picking up these vintage books, and I was lotting them together like vintage book decor. So I would do like colors or like theming, something that was aesthetically pleasing. I'm not really doing that anymore just because it takes a lot to like store those and stuff, but I did enjoy it while I was doing it. And this sold for $15 on a best offer, which I'm very happy after 2.5 years to send it on its way. Next is a Talbot's piece, a pink chunky knit sweater. This was a size 1X, so a great size, only listed for about a sort of 4 to 6 weeks, and it sold for best offer of $20.80. And unfortunately, I couldn't get it into a flat rate padded envelope, so it had to go priority mail because it was heavy, very chunky knit. It did cost quite a lot to ship it, unfortunately, for the buyer, so that probably put people off for a while. Eviva, which is like the sort of juniors version, if you like, of Lululemon. Let me see if I can find that logo for you. You can see right on the back there, looks like a little kind of diamond, like a kite type shape almost. Again, had this for well over a year at this point. I'm not even sure how the brand is doing right now, just because, you know, the market's quite saturated and things. So when someone offered me $15, I was very happy to take that. And I think I got that one from a thrift store. Roxy, this one I think was from a rummage sale. I picked it up because I really like the style. It's not a brand I really go after necessarily, but it had such a cute like boho beachy feel, and all of this bottom hem down here was embroidered with this floral detail, beading on the straps, just really cute. And this sold for an offer of $15. Chico's, I really thought this piece was going to sell before Christmas or New Year just because of all the sparkliness, but it didn't. So just a blue, very loose knit sweater with all that sequin detail, sold for full asking of $22.99, and of course plus shipping as well, because all of my items are plus shipping. I don't do free shipping unless very specific items, which I'll let you know on these videos. Cabela's fleece lined denim jeans. These were a bit of a shock when I got them home. They said they were men's 30, I think maybe 30 by 30, and when I measured the inseam, they were actually a 25-inch inseam, so incredibly short compared to what they should have been. Definitely had been altered. You could see that down the hem, so obviously all of that had to be disclosed very carefully. You can see right here I put in about 4 different places in giant letters like altered inseam, seam measurements, all over the description to make sure that somebody could see that. And of course I updated the inseam in all of the item specifics and the title as well. So those sold for $22.99, which was the full asking price. This one, again, I thought it would have sold for the holiday season, but here we are. It was a lovely mohair blend sweater, but again, that season has kind of passed by. I was asking $28.99, someone offered $18.50. It's been listed for about 4 weeks. Happy to take that since that season is kind of shuffling on there. These are maybe my longest listed item right now. Years. 2 to 2.5 years, just like that book. I don't know why they wouldn't move. I've had them down to 99 cents auction time and time again. Just Ann Taylor Loft. They were size 2 petite, but I sold plenty in 2 petite. They were a leopard print jean, modern straight. They had nothing wrong with them whatsoever. I don't know what the issue was, but they finally sold on sale for $11.99, and thank goodness. I hope they don't come back. Right, these Keds, I picked them up. I don't pick Keds up all the time, but I really liked this super cute like strawberry print that was all over. I thought they were kind of quirky. They have sat for a while, probably 3 to 4 months at least, and they sold for full asking price of $24.99. This was a brand new item. This was on one of my most recent hauls, which actually I don't think has gone live yet. So if you're interested in the hauls and want to see where I picked this item up and how much I paid for it, hit that subscribe button and bell notification down below, and that way you can catch the haul. It'll be coming out either this week or next week, I believe. Anyway, I picked this up at a thrift store very, very recently, and it sold within basically a day of going live. In fact, it was one of the listings that I was going to put up on Poshmark when I opened up my store again, and I had to delete it instead of making it go live because it had already sold on eBay by that point. And I ended up taking a best offer of $34.99, and obviously it was new with tags, as you can see. Such a fun piece. This again was only sort of 2 to 3 weeks. It was listed, vintage Talbots, 100% linen knee-length skirt with that really nice window pane plaid. I do like a window pane plaid. I think it's a really popular print right now, and it sold for a best offer of $15. Talbot's brown leather ballet flats with a cute little fringe detail, just a very basic kind of career style piece. Again, $15 is what they sold for. Very much a bread and butter piece. Torrid, this was a piece I picked up in a recent haul as well, size 1X. Not really the season for it, but it did have a very cute back to it where it was kind of like a half open back. You can kind of see there in that photo. Overall, very, very cute, but very basic. Sold for $12.99 on a best offer. Pilcrow and the Letterpress, which is an anthropology brand and a fun brand to find. I'm often wary of these prints, but actually these ones did rather well. I have a pair of like just black, distressed, aged looking Pilcrow and the Letterpress jeans, and I can't sell them for the life of me right now. So I guess this print kind of helped these stand out a little bit. That's the sort of branding, as you can see there. They were the mid-rise skinny, and they sold for $23. And they were only listed for about 2 weeks. J. Jill, Pure Jill, which is one of the offshoots of J. Jill I do like to pick up. I like Love Linen by J. Jill, and I like Pure Jill. That's what it looks like. Unfortunately, this item did have some flaws. It had a couple of very, very light marks on the front. Hard to spot, but still there nevertheless. So I took $11 as a best offer. Next item was a bit of a flop, unfortunately. I thought I was getting a vintage SeaWorld sweatshirt. It definitely had that vintagey look. And I do think it was older. I think it was from the 2000s. I think the show, the One Ocean show at SeaWorld, started in the sort of mid to late 2000s, like maybe 2008, 2009 from my research. But therefore, it is not vintage. It's older, but it's not vintage. So I just sold it as it was, and it sold for $10. So, you know, probably wouldn't pick it up again, I have to say, but that's fine. Talbot's just a very nice kind of like floral, very like classic print, wide sort of boat neck top, $16 on a best offer is what that sold for. Another Talbot's piece. Talbot's is such a good sort of regular consistent seller for me. I actually did a video recently where I was talking about my most consistent sellers on Poshmark specifically, i.e. the brands that I sell the most often. So if you're interested in that, I'll link it right here and you can check that out and see what kind of brands move for me on a sort of very, very regular basis. But this Talbot's piece, it had like a fringe detail, an open front sort of mottled knit sweater, very, very nice, but it sold for $17.80 on a best offer. Again, happy to take a few offers while I was on vacation and get the ball rolling with some sales. This Ann Taylor black and white sort of gingham type plaid button-up shirt, I think that's been listed maybe for about 6 months now, sold for $12, which is fairly usual for like an Ann Taylor piece, like just a basic top for me. And the last two items sold right before I left. So this J. Crew red and blue, it was called what? The Sundrine flannel plaid shirt dress. I don't know, it was kind of fun. It had like a kind of prairie look to it. Sort of like a drop waist look with pin tuck pleats that you can see in that close-up photo there. Sold for the full asking of $34.99. And the last item was a Halloween sweater vest. Go figure, that sold in the end of December. But it sold for $10. Again, a bit of a flop. I've had it for several Halloweens now in my various stores. Haven't been able to move it. So if someone wants to scoop it up for $10, I'm happy to send it on its way. All right, you guys, that is all of my sales for my vacation week. Again, I feel super blessed to have been able to sell as much as I did while being completely hands-off basically with my business, other than just responding to those offers. I think it's one of the real sort of perks of this kind of business and running this kind of business is being able to do that and not be too distracted while you're away with family. Let me know down in the comments how your new year is going. Have you sort of started with plenty of energy? Do you find that your sales are doing well? What are your goals? Let me know some of those goals down below. I know that I'm sort of trying to get into the groove now since my new year kind of felt like it started a little bit later work-wise since we sort of ran away on New Year's Day. But I am getting back into the rhythm of it, and that is really nice. All right, you guys, I will catch you in the next video. If you enjoy this, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, you guys.